Now, let's talk about Lil Wayne and the release of one of the most anticipated rap albums in a long time, the Carter 6. If you're prepared to learn about all that has transpired since the release of Lil Wayne's debut album in 5 years, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really benefits me, and everyone in hip-hop should realize how Wayne's most recent album is impacting and illuminating us. Due to the Kendrick and Drake feud and Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl victory in New Orleans, which Wayne obviously felt he deserved, Wayne has actually been more frequently mentioned in rap conversations than he has been in years, especially after years of hype and in the hip-hop era leading up to this. Wayne has never had a larger platform to address everything that has happened to him. And he later responded to Kendrick and Drake to show that perhaps he deserved the Super Bowl and that he is indeed the monster he claimed he was, still in the CD, still in the rap game, and now with the Carter 6. What is so obvious now, though, is that despite all the expectations and everything that people had going into this, when the stakes have never been higher and everyone has been waiting to see what Wayne's failure to win the Super Bowl did to him, and perhaps even where he and Drake's relationship stands overall, Wayne did show us something, and it's bad. It showed us where he is as a rapper, how he holds up in today's game, and who he is cool with. In between strange rock covers and some of the most bizarre songs and features you have ever heard, along with Wayne, he provided us with all the information we need regarding this in his most recent demonstration of his identity as an MC, whether he was aware of it or not. And now, if you haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe before we get any farther into this and discuss everything that is making this Carter 6 album, for better or worse, just dominate the hip-hop discourse. And with that said, the best way to characterize the Carter 6 is that it has been chaotic as ever since the AI Slob trailer was created, in which they attempted to mimic Wayne's album covers exactly like Jay-Z did. But the difference was that Jay was present and this was all fake and lame. This is true of everything about the record, including how people are feeling and what it shows about where Wayne stands with so many important figures in the rap game. Simply put, things have gone worse from here. Despite Lameo, Drake has never needed his mentor more. And it has never made more sense for the guy who represents the 6th to be here in the 6th installment of the Carter series. This is the first thing that the Carter 6 has shown us, and we can now begin to see, which pretty definitively shows where one of the most iconic rap duos currently stands with one another. Wayne and Drake have once again failed to stand beside each other during this period and to offer any assistance to the other individual in their own crashes, which appear to have been all caused by the same person, Kendrick Lamar, in the first place. Furthermore, Wayne has not communicated to the rest of hip-hop that he is still standing by the man he brought into the rap game, now that there are rumors that Drake and Nicki will both be joining Wayne on this record. DJ Academics is acting as though a major event is about to occur because Axe has a conversation with Kendrick and believes that Drake and Wayne will diss Kendrick together or something similar. Actually, this really sounded like a fabricated claim or a last-ditch attempt to persuade Wayne to collaborate with Drake. As a result, the feature-rich Carter 6 album has not included a single verse, mention of Drake, or anything similar. Again, when we discuss Messi, who is truly going to be the theme of the story and the legacy that this album ultimately leaves behind, what was possibly going on with Wayne's team? The people covering this album for major publications like Rolling Stone and Sports Illustrated came up with the idea that Drake and Nicki would be on this thing. This led them to say this in these big publications that generally try to be as credible as they can. Now, even though Drake and Nicki didn't end up on this record, and the situation surrounding Drake and Wayne in particular is really a topic for another day, we really can't even consider what's happening with them at the moment, because with the rest of the Carter 6, the story of Crash Outs did not end there with a potential Drake feature that was cut, because the rest of the album is strange, because if we recall correctly, a lot of the hype and rollout for the Carter 6 did include a collaboration that was released during the Super Bowl with a major trailer within a commercial, With that, Wayne was obviously attempting to use everything that had happened in his career, especially with Kendrick Lamar during the Super Bowl, to try and make this record a bigger event and even use it as motivation to show everyone, more than ever, the best version of himself. Wayne is attempting to use this album to prove to everyone that he is the legend who can accomplish anything and that he could have played in the Super Bowl. However, what Lil Wayne demonstrated on this album is that there isn't any discussion or argument about who should have won the Super Bowl or who deserves it more when it comes to his conversations with Kendrick Lamar on any level. Because Wayne could have started a discussion that would have at least raised the question of whether he should have had the halftime performance in the first place, both on stage and with the creative outlet where things have mattered most. What Lil Wayne has demonstrated through all of this is that he and Kendrick Lamar are simply in two different leagues and can never be compared in any way. Wayne's performance on this record, which he has been hyped up for so long, just feels so lazy, dull, confused, and uninspired. Whatever you want to say about it. Wayne is lacking everything here except for a few songs on the Carter 6. Like Welcome to the Carter, which really shocked us because the rest of the record was so awful after hinting that it might be decent. This includes the professionalism that the face of music needs today in any genre, as well as the level of showmanship and song quality. Additionally, the rollout consisted of creating pages that posted things to try and build up hype for this thing that wasn't there. And of course, we had that fake slop trailer that they used to try and recreate Jay-Z's album recreation trailer, but just make the version of it at home. On top of that, with the cover that was close to fan art, everything on this record just feels so unprofessional and random. And it really does feel like it was made by a guy who just threw together Lil Wayne songs. The Carter 6 was a complete mess when it first came out. And now that it's over, everything is more confusing than ever, because in addition to making every rap fan wonder who Wayne is with and whether he and Drake are even talking at this point, the music itself features a Maria overtrap drums. And I can't even begin to explain how that isn't even one of the worst things on this entire record. And that should tell you how bad it is. What is actually happening with Lil Wayne right now is complete disappointment, as Kendrick Lamar is making people regret the idea of them claiming that Wayne ever deserved a halftime show over him. And Drake hides out and waits to see where they stand. Honestly, with Lil Wayne's entire Carter 6 album, you can't expect people to be reacting to what they are hearing and enjoying it. Because Lil Wayne didn't release anything for 5 years, went through everything he did in the business, including the beef itself, and then basically rapped pointlessly while working with artists as awful as MGK and Kodak. Since the first 5 Carter albums, of course, had flaws and weren't flawless. This record is currently regarded as one of the most disappointing blockbuster rap albums ever, and may end up being one of the most disappointing records ever released within a series like this. Overall, they were all thrilling, amusing, and most importantly lacked passionate and meaningful recordings. However, after listening to an album that requires you to hear Maria over 808s making odd elephant noises at the most inappropriate times, tempting to be a rock star once more, such as in Rebirth Wayne, while auto-tuning to the maximum with the worst sound design and mixing, everyone is left with the same impression, which is that people are simply over Wayne after he demonstrated that he is incapable of producing music in this day and age. This is because the album is truly terrible on all levels, not just because it is lacking something or has flaws in certain places, but because it contains songs that fall flat on every level, from the structure to the hook to the verses to the features, which, aside from a Big Sean and 2 Chainz verse, are terrible in the featured, and to witness Wayne reach a stage in his career where he released this album, which is essentially just an attempt to sample classic rock songs half the time and ruins them more than ever. At times, the songs are so awful that they almost seem like parodies, such as the song where Wayne created his own rendition of Weezer's Island in the Sand, since Wayne has now ended this chapter in his career. humiliating his legacy in one of the most significant album series ever. This record really serves as the reason why many older rappers advise him to hang up and stop rapping. He has demonstrated that the entire sympathy run he received during the phony outcry over the Super Bowl was completely pointless, as he literally never cared less to create a decent musical experience than what we have just witnessed from him. Here, and to be quite honest, the rap community has been talking about this album since everyone started complaining that he didn't win the Super Bowl instead of Kendrick Lamar. We are once again witnessing all of the clown MCs that attempted to steal Kendrick Lamar's moment, demonstrating that they stand for nothing more than being envious of him. The rapper community simply finds new ways to humiliate themselves as a group. And so, in the end, everything is falling back on Lil Wayne. And the stories that surround him have never been worse because of the path he took with this thing. It appears that everyone wants Lil Wayne to hang it up because, regardless of the impact of what he has shown here with both Kendrick and Drake, he has nothing left to offer clearly. And now that a rapper of this caliber has reached this point, there is no other way to put it. He is simply going out dejected. The one clear conclusion that I will take away from the entire Carter 6 is that what you do, never try to compare Wayne to Kendrick Lamar ever again. Having said that, please share your thoughts on the Carter 6 and everything that it represents in hip-hop. Are you shocked that Drake isn't involved in this? What impact, in your opinion, has it had on the controversy surrounding Kendrick Lamar and Lil Wayne? Do you believe that this record is indeed among Wayne's worst releases? Maybe even among the worst rap albums of the year? And perhaps even longer than that? I'm eager to hear your thoughts on everything now, so please make sure to like and subscribe. If you watched the entire video, I find it really helpful. If you want to see how Drake already disgraced himself this week by performing one of the worst things he has ever done in his career, watch the recommended video.